Morning. So I think we're ready as soon as Courtroom 2 comes online. I see that they're there. Are we ready at the South Annex?
Good morning, Your Honor. Yes, we're ready.
Okay. Mr. McLean?
We're technically, we're.
Ms. Powell, come have a seat right here.
There was no.
We'll shut this off.
Okay, all right, so
We have Ms. Powell in front of you.
and do we know what position Ms. Powell is?
Ms. Powell is 18, 19, and 20, Your Honor.
Right,
And-
that one is not the one I served at.
Okay.
Dubose is the one with no office.
And just so that the state knows, Mr. McLean is in court with me this morning, and he is saying that that he does not have an offer for what position, Mr. McLean?
That would be number. Number 8. Now, if there was an email this morning, I missed it.
I'll send it over.
Thank
Okay.
you,
Thank
Mr. Walker.
Mhm.
Ms. Powell, good morning.
Good morning.
I'm Judge Eric Morrow. This is the state all-purpose calendar. We're conducting this calendar today by video to help prevent the spread of the virus. Do you agree to have your case heard by video?
Yes.
Can you raise your right hand to the best of your ability for me? Do you swear or affirm the testimony you're about to give before this court be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes.
Okay, you can put your hand down. Thank you, ma'am. Good morning, Mr. Segura.
Good morning.
This is your case?
It is.
Okay, you can proceed.
For this case, and actually for all 3 cases, position 18, 19, and 20, that the state is going for a time served,
How much time has been served? 8 days?
8 days. Yes.
Ms. Helen?
Yes, Judge, that's our understanding of the recommendation. And when ASG Segura says time served, we also understand it to mean balance suspended. And Judge, we would just ask for position 20, case number 19CR007235E be checked for a possible null pros. Ms. Powell says she attended Zoom court and took a break from work, and that they notified her on August 25th of last year, so not that long ago, that this case was null prossed. So we just want to make sure that she's not pleading again to this case if she attended court and it was null prossed in August of last year.
What's the case number, Ms. Helen? Which one?
Position 20, 19CR007235E as in Edward.
Okay, 2 counts of dog at large.
Correct, Judge.
We're not sure, excuse me, we're not showing a null pros, Ms. Helen.
Understood, Judge. And when I spoke to Ms. Powell, I said, hey, I just would verify with the court. If you're not showing a null pros, Ms. Powell, would you still like to enter a plea today for position 20, those 2 dog at large?
Yes.
Judge, we'd like to still move forward.
Okay. Ms. Powell, you've been charged in case 17CR018486E with unregistered vehicle, operation of vehicle without a current license plate, and decal, and driving without a valid license. You've been charged in case 18CR002223E with driving while your license is suspended, driving without a valid license and expired revalidation decal, and in case 19CR007235E with 2 counts of dog at large. It's my understanding that you wish to plead guilty to these charges. Is that correct?
Yes, sir.
Are you under the influence of any drugs or alcohol at the present time?
No, sir.
You've been represented by counsel. Are you satisfied with your counsel's representation?
Yes, sir.
You understand that you have a right to a trial by jury on these charges, and that by pleading guilty to them, you're giving up your right to a trial by jury?
Yes, sir.
Has anyone forced or coerced you to plead guilty?
No, no, sir.
I'll accept your guilty plea, Ms. Powell, your guilty pleas. The sentence will be 12 months to serve 8 days, credit for time served 8 days, balance suspended. All right, good luck to you, ma'am.
Thank you.
Thank you, Judge.
Okay, so
Who do we have next?
Natia, first name, Natay, first name Gia.
Okay. That's position 15. My understanding, this is a negotiated plea.
That's correct, Judge.
Good morning, Ms. Natay. I'm Judge Eric Morrow. This is the state all-purpose calendar that we are conducting by video to help prevent the spread of the virus. Do you agree to have your case heard by video?
Good morning.
Good morning. Can you raise your right hand for me, ma'am? Do you swear affirm the testimony you're about to give before this court will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Mr. Segura, as you go through, please don't sound the charge.
Okay, the state is time served 10 days, ban suspended.
Yes, Your Honor, that is our understanding of the state's recommendation. We agree with it. We stipulate to the factual basis, venue, and ID.
Ms. Natay, it's my understanding that you wish to plead guilty to one criminal charge, misdemeanor charge, is that correct?
Yes, sir.
Are you under the influence of any drugs or alcohol this morning?
No, sir.
You've been represented by counsel. Are you satisfied with your counsel's representation?
Yes, sir.
You understand that you have a right to a trial by jury on this charge, and that by pleading guilty to it, you're giving up your right to a trial by jury?
Yes, sir.
Has anyone forced or coerced you to plead guilty?
No, sir.
I will accept the plea as negotiated, Ms. Natay. The sentence is 12 months to serve 10 days, credit for time served 10 days, balance suspended. Good luck to you.
Thank
You're welcome.
Thank you, Judge.
Is that all? At the yes. Okay.
Yes, sir.
All right. Y'all have a good day. Thank you.
You too, sir.
Thank you. Courtroom 2, if you all are ready.
Yes, good morning, Judge. We
Good
have
morning.
Cash sitting in front of you. I don't have a calendar with me, so I'm not sure what position that is.
What's this
Jeffrey
last? Cash, Jeffrey Cash.
Yes,
Okay, that's position number 5.
That's my case, Judge.
Good morning, Mr. Murphy. How are you?
Good, Judge. If I can have just a brief breakout with the state, and we'll have an announcement.
Okay, do you need, would you like to call courtroom 2?
Oh, I just wanted to speak with the state, Judge, on it.
Oh, you want to speak with the state? Okay.
Yes, yes.
Whose case is this? Ms. Sari, is this your case?
yes, Your Honor.
All right, so if we can put Ms. Sari and Mr. Murphy in a breakout room, and let's see, while we're doing that, can we go to someone else so that which cases are yours, Mr. Segura?
I had 13 to the end and add on number 3.
Okay, so if we have anyone that's from 13 till the end or add on 3 in courtroom 2, we can do it.
Have
I guess
the calendar at the moment.
Okay, so
This is Mr. Mario Biggs.
I can sound for the positions that are 13 to 23. I can give her the name because I have those.
that's fine, Ms. Helen. Go ahead.
I have position 13 Moss, position 14 Muckle, 16, 17 Pierre, or that's actually a released individual. 21 is released. I guess that's all of mine. 22 is a waiver of arraignment. 23 is a reset.
Farrier Williams, Christopher Williams is on the add-on calendar.
Judge, if I could get a moment to a breakout room to speak to Mr. Williams just quickly, but I do have that position.
Is Barrier Williams in courtroom 2?
Yes, he's sitting at the phone waiting for the call.
Okay, all right, so you can go ahead and call now, Ms. Helen.
Thank you, Judge.
Mhm.
You're with whoever
Yeah,
the state has the
Go ahead,
information.
yeah, pick up the phone.
Should I ask for the assistant solicitor who has the DeVos case? Call me on my cell phone.
What position
In the
is,
hallway.
what position is that, Mr. McLean?
Ms. DeVos is pretty early on. She's a B, so she would be number 8, number 8.
One solicitor is already in a breakout room. Position 8, DeBose, who's doing that for the state, that case for the state?
Does Attorney McLean have a question? If so, he can give me a call on my cell phone.
Okay, he does.
Okay. How should I send my number? To prosecutor? To that computer? SCOG 33 prosecutor?
Right, there's no keyboard here, so he would call me on 770.
Can you call him, Mr. Walker?
Yes, I can. What's his number?
Okay, it's 770.
770-842-5471.
Did you get that?
770-842-5471.
Correct.
Okay, I'm giving you a call right now.
All right, thank you, Mr. Walker. Okay, Mr. Murphy?
Judge, we weren't able to resolve it due to an open case he's got with Superior Court. Judge, so I'd ask that we just send the case to Judge Richardson, not guilty, jury trial.
Okay, we're gonna arraign him this morning. And tell me again, I'm sorry, what position is this that we're speaking of? Thank you. So, Mr. Cash?
Yes,
Your Honor.
Judge.
Okay, come on. If we could have Mr. Cash back, please.
Judge, I think on looks like June 25th of last year that he waived arraignment then,
Okay.
and that's when Miss Kenya Bryant was counsel. I got on the case in October.
Okay, so Mr. Cash, you've already have been arraigned on this matter. This case is going to be returned to the division judge for a jury trial, and you will get notification of when your next hearing is going to be. Good luck to you, sir.
Thank you, Judge.
You're welcome, Mr. Murphy.
That's all I have for the 9 o'clock, Judge.
All right, have a good day. We'll see you this afternoon, maybe.
Williams, come back up. This is Mr. Pierre Williams.
Williams, okay. And what are we doing, Mr. Williams?
Judge, this is going to be a negotiated plea for positions 1 and 2 today.
Okay. Good morning, Mr. Ferrier Williams. I'm Judge Eric Morrow. This is the state all-purpose calendar that we are conducting by video to help prevent the spread of the virus. Do you agree to have your case heard by video?
You gotta speak up.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Can you raise your right hand to the best of your ability for me? Do you swear or affirm the testimony you're about to give before this court be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
No.
Okay, you can put your hand down. Thank you, sir. And Ms. Sorry, is this your case? Yes.
I believe so, Your Honor. What position is this again?
It's add-on positions 1 and 2.
Okay, just pulling that up.
Okay, and you'll have to announce what the negotiated plea is also, as I don't have it before me.
Okay, Miss Helen, are you still requesting a breakout with your client?
Nope, I already spoke to him. So just positions 1 and 2 is going to be a negotiated plea.
Okay. Okay, I apologize for the delay. For position 1, the state and the defense have negotiated a plea to simple battery family violence. The plea agreement is 12 months to serve 100 days, credit for time served 51 days. The balance probated, no further contact with the victim, Bryce Boniface, a stay away from 4520 Dawes Circle in Fairburn, Georgia, and an FFib. And sorry, for the second position, it's 12 months to serve 100 days, credit for time served, balance probated, a theft prevention course, 40 hours of community service, no drugs, alcohol, or weapons, and a stay away from 4120 Stacks Road in South Fulton, Georgia. Nothing further.
Yes, Your Honor, that is our understanding of the recommendation. We agree with the state's recommendation, and we stipulate to the factual basis, venue, and ID.
Okay. I'm being asked to go over the plea again. So it's 12 months for position 1. It's 12 months to serve 100 days, credit for time served 51 days. Family Violence Intervention Program, stay away from Bryce Boniface, no further contact with Bryce Boniface, and stay away from 4520, that DAG Circle.
Dawes.
Spell that for me.
DAWES.
Okay, Dawes Circle. And for the theft by taking, 12 months to serve, 100 days, credit for time served, 51 days. Balance probated, theft prevention class, 40 hours of community service, and stay away from 4120 Stubbs Road.
Stacks.
Stacks Road, okay.
Yes, Your Honor. And it was also no drugs, alcohol, or weapons.
All right. You got that, Ms. Middlebrooks? All right. Mr. Ferrier-Williams, it's my understanding that you wish to plead guilty to simple battery, family violence, and theft by taking. Is that correct?
Yeah.
Are you under the influence of any drugs or alcohol this morning?
No.
You've been represented by counsel. Are you satisfied with your counsel's representation?
Sure.
You understand that you have a right to a trial by jury on these charges, and that by pleading guilty to them, you're giving up your right to a trial by jury? You don't want a trial by jury, do you?
No.
Is that a no?
No.
I
Hear you.
No.
No? Okay. Has anyone forced or coerced you to plead guilty?
No.
Is that a no? Mr. Ferrier-Williams?
No.
All right, thank you, sir. I'll accept the plea as negotiated. I am going to waive the probation fees while you're on probation, Mr. Ferrier-Williams, to help you get and stay on your feet. And when you complete the terms of the probation, it's going to go to a non-reporting status. So the sooner you get it done, the sooner you won't have to report to probation, okay? All right, good luck to you, sir.
Thank you, Judge.
You're welcome. Who do we have next?
Mario Bibbs.
Is that Mr. McLean's case?
I believe so, Judge.
Mr. McLean is on the phone with the solicitor. Who else do we have in courtroom 2?
Joshua Coates. That's it.
Yeah, that's Mr. McLean's also.
I think the remaining are Mr. McLean's, Your Honor. I do believe that I'm completed on my end.
So I'll have to wait till Mr. McLean comes back into the courtroom.
I also have Favors. Raphael Ramon Favors.
Okay, that's Mr. McLean's also. Everything else is Mr. McLean, so. Never got a favor from him, did he? I'm sorry, we'll have to wait till Mr. McLean returns.
Okay.
Understood, Judge. We are sending the paperwork today to Ms. Middlebrooks.
Yes, that's correct. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, Mr. McLean, all the rest of the cases on the calendar are yours.
Yes, Your Honor. I think we've got everything worked out except for I need to break out. The assistant solicitor was kind enough to send me the link to my cell phone so I can zoom in and do a breakout with Mr. Bose at the appropriate time.
All right, so why don't we,
We've got everybody else.
okay. Why don't we try to get through as many of your cases as we can, and the ones that you're gonna need to break out, or maybe we can do those all at one time.
And if you want to go in order 1 through 12, that'll work. Either way.
They don't have a calendar in courtroom 2. Let's see.
Like the order doesn't matter. I just have the first dozen.
So let's see who we can bring up courtroom 2. Who would you like to take next?
Favors. Ramon Raphael Favors.
And what announcement did I send in on favors? I believe that was
It says hold for announcement.
okay. In Mr. Favors' case, I believe he was the person who was confused as to whether he thought he had pled to this before or that it was dropped or something. So he was confused as to the facts, and I didn't have enough information with me in this packet to enlighten him on court proceedings. I did have I had all the factual stuff about the accusation itself, but as to the aftermath, I told him, I said it was unlikely when I was called in. I said it was unlikely I'd be scooting by the office to get on the computer to do much research on the Odyssey saga of this case.
Okay, so you need to know whether or not he has pled to these charges before. Can somebody look?
Or I think he was saying, or whether it was actually dropped in the past. Now, this is a revival.
Is this your case, Ms. Sorry?
Yes, Your Honor, it is. I'm looking in Odyssey right now.
Okay, thank you.
Because on the booking sheet, the first 5 lines are some other case that's a CP. But on the booking sheet, this case is the 2 lines that have this symbol of an R and a rectangle, a square.
So I just checked, Your Honor. I don't see any null process. The last court date I see was a final plea calendar in front of Judge Edline, which was at FTA September of last year.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Walker. So it's still pending criminal trespass and obstruction of a law enforcement officer.
At this time, I think he would like to simply plead not guilty and put that on his calendar. He has a case which is there, as long as we confirm that the bond on this case is $2,000 surety bond, I think that he will be able to go ahead and just make that one.
All right. So, Mr. Favors, it's my understanding that you're going to be pleading not guilty to criminal trespass and obstruction of a law enforcement officer. Is that correct?
Yes, sir.
All right. Can you raise your right hand for me? You swear affirm the testimony you're about to give before this court be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes, sir.
Good. And again, you can put your hand down, Mr. Favors. This is the state all-purpose calendar. We're conducting this calendar today by video to help prevent the spread of the virus. Do you agree to have your case heard by video?
Yes, sir.
Thank you. Mr. Favors, you've been charged in case 20 CR 002679D with criminal trespass and obstruction of a law enforcement officer. Each of these charges carries with it a maximum penalty of 12 months in jail and or $1,000 fine. Do you waive formal reading of the accusation, Mr. McLean?
We do.
All right. How do you plead to these charges, Mr. Favors? Guilty or not guilty?
It's kind of tripping me to say because I already had pleaded out to these cases in 2021.
Okay, Mr. McLean is gonna look into that for you. But it was my understanding that you were gonna plead not guilty to these charges today. Is that correct?
Yes, sir.
Okay. We'll record your not guilty plea. Your case will be returned to the division judge and you'll get notification of your next hearing date. You want to confirm those bonds for me, Ms. Middlebrooks? You have the file phone? It appears that it's a so I guess since he did not appear that the bonds were forfeited and the bonds were $1,000 each SOB through the jail initially.
He could, if the court were amenable to changing that to a surety bond, he will attempt to make the $2,000 surety bond.
Okay, so you'll have to prepare the bond modification for the court, Mr. McLean. It's a $1,000 per charge, which makes for a $2,000 surety bond. Stay away from 2500 Center Street and the drugs, alcohol, and weapons while out on bond.
All right, and as soon as court's over with, I'll submit that. We've got a form upstairs.
Okay, thank you. All right, good luck to you, Mr. Favors.
All right, I'm not sure what just happened.
You received a bond of $1,000 per charge. Okay.
Okay, so that wasn't the SOB?
No, you initially had a signature bond, but because you did not show up for your last court date, that signature bond was revoked, and we've done a bond modification here today, giving you $1,000 signature bond, $1,000 surety bond on each charge.
Okay, but due to the FTA, right, it never came to my address. So I never got the mail. They sent it to a 200 Center Street. I live on 2500 Center Street.
Okay.
That's not what we're doing here.
You can clarify that with Mr. McLean at a later time, Mr. Favors, okay?
All right.
All right, thank you, sir. Good luck to you.
No problem.
Who do we have next?
I do have the calendar now, Judge. We can.
Okay.
3, Mr. Bibbs.
Okay.
Well, Mr. Bibbs was the one that was to be a breakout, and I'm trying to get into Zoom to do that.
Okay. Mr. McLean is going to need a breakout for Mr. Bibbs. So why don't we go to someone that he doesn't need a breakout for? Who do we have?
Well, the state was also requesting a breakout room. I'm not sure.
That's only.
Okay.
Okay, the breakout.
There was MH concerns, but I'll defer to the court.
What is a breakout? I thought I had 2 misdemeanors. What is a breakout?
Good morning, Mr. Bibbs. Your counsel is requesting a breakout room so that he can speak with me and the solicitor.
I got 2 misdemeanors. What is a breakout, man? And then you just said supposed to be not last week.
Okay, so I was trying to.
Time served, I pled guilty.
All right, can we?
What is a breakout?
Courtroom 2, can you mute for me, please? Mr. McLean, are you ready for the breakout?
I'm not anxious. Oh, here we go. Let's see if I can. Here's the link. I just need to get on. There we go. so it's connecting.
Okay, can you put me into a breakout room with Mr. Walker, Mr. McLean, and is it Mr. Walker
ASG, sorry as well, Your Honor, please.
and Ms. Sorry, please. Ms. Champion, could you put me in that breakout room, please? Okay, courtroom 2, for Mr. Bibbs, it's, going to be, he already has a bond in place, which is a $1,500 surety bond for the disorderly. And
I got a bond, and y'all said time served just last week.
Okay, go ahead and mute for me, courtroom 2. I'm just doing this for your benefit so that you can take it down for us. A $500 surety bond for, the obstruction of a law enforcement officer. He's also to have an MHET, no further violent contact with a Ms. Colbert, and a stay away from 2479 Abner Terrace in Atlanta, number 101. All right, thank you, courtroom 2. So we've completed Mr. Bibbs.
Come on, Mr. Ayala. Position 1, Mr. Ayala.
This is going to be an arraignment in the bond hearing.
In that case, correct, Your Honor, it was just a bond request from Mr. Ayala.
Good morning, Mr. Ayala. I'm Judge Eric Morrow. This is a state all-purpose calendar that we are conducting by video to help present.
Good morning.
Good morning. Can you raise your right hand for me? Do you swear affirm the testimony you're about to give before this court be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes, sir.
Okay, you can put your hand down, Mr. Ayala. You've been charged in case 22 CR 0013618H with driving under the influence of alcohol, less safe, and improper or erratic lane change. Each of these charges carries with it a maximum penalty of 12 months in jail and/or $1,000 fine. Do you waive formal reading of the accusation?
We
Mr.
do.
McLean?
We do.
How do you plead these charges, Mr. Ayala? Guilty or not guilty?
Guilty.
Say it again.
I was wondering about seeing if qualify for a surety or for SOB bond.
Okay, we're gonna talk about that next. Okay, so you're gonna have to answer my question regarding how you plead, guilty or not guilty.
Guilty.
Okay, it was my understanding that you're gonna plead not guilty today and that we were gonna discuss your bond.
Okay.
Is that correct, Mr. McLean?
That is correct, Your Honor. The defendant appears to be confused as to our procedure.
So are you pleading not guilty today, Mr. Ayala? Or do you need to speak with Mr. McLean? Mr. Ayala, can you hear me?
There you go.
Can you hear me, Mr. Ayala?
No, sir, I didn't hear nothing. It just froze right now. The
Okay.
internet connection is it's low.
Okay, I was letting you know that it was my understanding that you were going to enter a not guilty plea today and that your counsel was going to speak on the issue of bond modification.
Yes, sir.
If you want to plead guilty, then I'll have to let you speak with your attorney and you'll have to discuss that with him.
Okay.
Do you need to talk with Mr. McLean?
Talked to Mr. McCain yesterday.
Okay, and it was my understanding that you were going to enter a not guilty plea today. Is that right?
Yes.
Okay, so we'll record your not guilty plea. Your case will be returned to the division judge, and you'll get notification of your next hearing date. Regarding the bond, hold on. Regarding the bond, I set this bond back on March 14th. $1,500 good bond for the DUI and a $500 good bond for the erratic lane change, making for $2,000 good bond. Mr. McLean?
Your Honor, his problem has been that he does not have access to his phone and he did not memorize any family phone numbers. He has a mother in Winder. He has a sister in Atlanta. He can't get a hold of anybody to make his bond. He does have a job with Atlanta Peachtree or Peach Movers. Anytime he runs into, I don't mean anytime in general, but this time, if he is running into any restrictions on his driving, he can be a laborer or for that firm as well as a driver. So he just needs to get back to his job, and that's why he's asking for a signature bond. So he asserts his community ties here in Atlanta with his sister, and with his mother, Helen Mojica, spelled Mojica, who works at the Amazon warehouse in Winder. He's got a friend named Lawrence Velazquez, and he does have community ties. He owns his own car. He's here in Atlanta and has been in Atlanta for some time. His supervisor's name at Atlanta Peach Movers is Orlando, but I haven't been able to access that supervisor by phone yet. But he is just basically saying, I can't do anything. I'm stuck. I can't call anybody. Can I get a signature bond?
Is there a history, Ms. Harrison?
Yes, Your Honor, I'm showing 14 cycles with 5 out of California. Last arrest, October of 2021 for possession of marijuana less than an ounce and driving under the influence of alcohol. No disposition was listed on that arrest. Record does indicate the defendant has a prior driving while license suspended in 2014 and 2012. 1 failure to appear, 3 violations of probation, and 1 misdemeanor for criminal damage. Nothing further, Your Honor.
The 2021 DUI, is that open?
It just shows as an arrest and it does not appear in Odyssey. So it doesn't appear to be any movement on that arrest.
Thank you, Ms. Harrison. Ms. Sari?
Yes, Your Honor. We would ask that you keep the bond as set. There has been no change in the case. And we did hear from pretrial about that FTA as well as the probation violations. So with that in place, Your Honor, we just ask that you keep the bond as set. Would you like me to go into the facts of the case?
No, I think I heard the facts of the case previous at the SEA calendar since I signed the bond. Would you put your recommendation on the record, please?
Yes, Your Honor. For this case, the offer is 12 months to serve 17 days, credit for time served, 17 days, the balance probated, a $700 fine, 40 hours of community service, risk reduction, alcohol and drug evaluation, and treatment if necessary, and 1 victim impact panel. That's for the DUI less safe, and for the improper lane change that would merge with count 1.
Anything further, Mr. McLean?
Nothing on the bond request, Your Honor.
All right,
He
so
does, I believe, after the ruling, he does, I think, want to speak to me.
all right, I am going to so take down the bond modification, Mr. McLean. It's going to be a $5,000 SOB through the jail for the DUI, $1,000 SOB through the jail for the erratic lane change, making for a total of a $6,000 SOB. No driving except to and from work, and no drugs, alcohol, or weapons while out on bond.
Mr. Ayala, do you understand the ruling of the court that the court is going to grant you the signature bond you requested, but you can only drive to and from work? So at work, you're not going to be a driver. You're going to be one of the laborers. Is that okay with you?
Yes, that's totally fine, as long as I'll be, sorry, man, sorry for the inconvenience. As long as I have a chance to be out and I could work from the outside with this situation I put myself in, it'll be better because I do pay rent.
A simple yes, a simple yes.
Yes, I do understand. I completely understand. Yes,
All
from
right,
work
good
to
luck.
home.
Good luck to you, Mr. Ayala.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Try that signature bond.
Yes. Scott. Position 3, Mr. Scott.
This is on the add-on calendar. And this is going to be a arraignment and a bond hearing also. Ms. McLean?
That's, is that DuBose we're talking about?
This is Mr. Scott on the add-on calendar position.
Oh, I don't have Mr. Scott, I'm sorry.
Oh, that's mine, Judge. We're going to be doing a bond hearing this morning.
Okay, and an arraignment.
Yes, Judge.
Good morning, Mr. Scott. I'm Judge Eric Morrow. This is the state all-purpose calendar that we are conducting by video to help prevent the spread of the virus. Do you agree to have your case heard by video?
Yes, sir.
Thank you. Can you raise your right hand for me? Do you swear affirm the testimony you're about to give will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes, sir.
Okay, you can put your hand down. Thank you. You've been charged in case 19 CR 004686Y with reckless conduct. This charge carries with it a maximum penalty of 12 months in jail and or $1,000 fine. You wait for a reading of the accusation, Ms. Helen.
I do, Your Honor.
How do you plead, Scott, guilty or not guilty?
Not guilty, sir.
Okay, we'll record your not guilty plea. The case will be returned to the division judge and you'll receive notification of your next hearing date. We have the bond order on this.
I have that it's a $3,000 cash bond, Judge.
Okay. Say it again. Okay. Let's see. Ms. Harrison, can I get the history, please?
Yes, Your Honor, one moment. 15 cycles, last arrests, June of 2019, possession of marijuana less than an ounce in Fayette County, Georgia. No disposition listed on that arrest. Record does indicate the defendant is currently on probation in Fulton County for theft by receiving stolen property. 18 SC 159249, sentenced October of 2018 with 5 years probation. He has 1, 2. GCIC is not reflecting any other convictions.
All right, thank you. Mr. Segura, what are the facts of this case?
It was on May 24th, 2019, at the instant location at 47 Cleveland Avenue, Atlanta. In this case, the police were conducting a surveillance in an undercover capacity on the Cleveland Avenue corridor because there was an uptick of violent crime and shootings. Around that time, on that day, the police noticed that several males walking across the bridge towards the basketball court. And in this case, the police noticed a defendant who was walked towards a black Dodge Charger and removed a black and gray bag. When he removed the bag, he carried it in his hands, and it appeared to be a firearm resembling an AK-47 pistol or rifle. The defendant walked the bag into the woodland west of the playground, which is the area, is a parking lot in between a park and a library. Then he walked back into the woodland area of the playground and left the bag in it. At the time, from the warrant, he noticed that kids were playing in the area. So clearly see kind of the situation where the defendant left a gun in the wooded area where kids were around and attempt to abandon his weapon. Thank you.
Yeah, sure. Go ahead.
Oh, go ahead, Ms. Helen.
Yes, Your Honor. This is a bond hearing for Mr. Scott. When I did some research on his case originally, I saw that there was a $1,000 surety. I think that was originally when he was first arrested for the reckless conduct in 2019. However, I do believe Judge Edie did morph the bond into the $3,000 cash. Judge, today we're having this bond hearing because I'm asking you to modify this bond. Number one, we're asking for a signature bond. If you feel that he is ineligible for that signature bond, we're asking for a surety bond of no more than $1,500 for this reckless conduct. When I spoke to Mr. Scott, he is not working due to incarceration, but prior to this event happening, he was working in construction for several months. He did finish some high school, Judge. If he is released, he will be residing with his sister in the Fulton County area. I have a 2828 Waters Road, Atlanta, Georgia, 30354. And he is a lifetime resident of Fulton County. I did hear his history, but I did not hear a long, violent history of gun charges or anything like that, Your Honor. Again, that's why we're moving for a signature bond first and foremost for Mr. Scott, as well as if you feel that he is ineligible for that signature bond, a modification of $1,500. I do see in his case that, again, it was morphed to a cash bond from 2 FTAs, September 15th of 2019 with Judge Edie, and a December 6th of 2021 for a jury trial. When I spoke to him, he had no idea that either of those things had been scheduled, but we do have a permanent address now, Judge.
All right. Anything further, Mr. Segura?
I'd like to emphasize that we believe that Reed doesn't cash bond is reasonable considering that he did live a weapon and attempt to abandon it near kids who could have easily picked that gun up. Thank you.
I'm going to modify Ms. Helen to a $2,000 good bond and no drugs, alcohol, or weapons while out on bond.
Mr. Scott, did you understand that the judge just stated he was going to modify it from the $3,000 cash to a $2,000 surety bond? Is that something you'd like to move forward today with, Mr. Scott? Okay, thank you, Judge. He understands and we do accept that modification. I will submit that paperwork to Ms. Middlebrook today.
Okay, you have to make sure that you have a correct address, because if he misses one more court date, then this isn't going to happen again. Okay, so I'm taking into account the last 2 years and what's been going on to give him a modification. But if he doesn't show up again, he's going to be right back in the situation he is.
Did you hear that, Mr. Scott?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, no more FTAs. Thank you, Judge.
All right, good luck to you, sir.
Next, we have position 2, Mr. Baltimore.
And this is going to be a arraignment in the bond hearing.
That's correct.
Good morning, Mr. Baltimore. I'm Judge Eric Morrow. This is the state all-purpose calendar that we are conducting by video to help prevent the spread of the virus. Do you agree to have your case heard by video?
Your Honor. Good morning.
Good morning. Mr. Baltimore, you have been charged in case 22 CR 001408D with criminal trespass, willful obstruction of a law enforcement officer, and possession and use of drug-related objects. Each of these charges carries with it a maximum penalty of 12 months in jail and or $1,000 fine. Do you waive formal reading of the accusation?
We do.
All right. How do you plead, Mr. Baltimore? Guilty or not guilty?
Well, I told my lawyer yesterday, if he still got, when he explained to me about yesterday, I'll go with the other plea he explained to me yesterday.
I'm not understanding what he's saying, Mr. McLean. Do you?
Right, I understand. He says that that drug-related object was not his, and he wanted to plead not guilty.
Okay, so it's my understanding that you're pleading not guilty to these charges today, Mr. Baltimore. Is that right?
Yeah.
Okay, we'll record your not guilty plea, and your case will be returned to the division judge, and you'll get notice of your next hearing date. Let's see. I granted a $750 bond, $250 for each charge on March 15th.
He's basically not with funds. He does not have resources. He's adamant about his he needs to have a trial, but he can go to shelters. He can go to shelters and live, and he has sources of food from soup lines and whatnot, but he's asking the court to consider a signature bond just so that he can be out. He has the community ties through the resources that he's been using, in the sense that they are places familiar to him. He just doesn't have any people to do anything for him.
Does he have a mailing address where he can get his mail?
He could get a mailing address at, any of several places, and I'm sure he's familiar with those. Mr. Baltimore, if we were to ask you for a mailing address that you regularly check and would never miss, what would it be?
Presbyterian Church.
The Presbyterian Church. I think you're referring to Central Presbyterian Church.
Yes, and then also I got a mailing address at 318 Peter Street,
Well, we need to pick one and not have two. It'll get confusing for us.
Okay, well, we'll go with Peter Street, because that's where I mainly go to shelter at.
It's hard to understand you. Peter Street would be the preferable, or the Presbyterian Church?
Peter Street,
And what is the address on Peter Street? Do you know the number?
316. Peter Street, 30318.
Now, is that the one that is the Baptist
Yes, sir.
Outreach Mission?
Yes, sir.
I've been there, yes.
That's pretty nice.
All right, sorry.
Yes, Your Honor. This defendant is actually being held on a felony. That case number is 20CP191859. So he was given a bond on that case through pretrial, but it was revoked, and he is being held on that. So $5,000 straight. And would you like me to put the recommendation on the record?
Yes, that's fine. Go ahead, Ms. Sorry.
Yes, the plea offer in this case is 12 months to serve 30 days. Credit for time served 16 days, the balance suspended, and to stay away from the 90 Central Avenue to run concurrent on all counts. And Your Honor, this defendant does have a history of obstruction, criminal trespass, possession of cocaine, probation violations, and FTAs. So we would ask that you consider his history as well, in addition to the fact that he is being held on that felony charge. Nothing further.
Since he's been held on a felony charge, Mr. McLean, if he resolves that matter and you want to come back before the court at a later time to modify, I'm happy to do it at that time, but I think he has bigger fish to fry at this point in time.
I'll make a note to make some kind of tickler or reminder system and keep on top of that.
Okay, very good. All right. Good luck to you, Mr. Baltimore.
Yes, sir.
What was his total bond, Judge?
I'm not, it's not been modified. It's $250 per charge, so $750 total.
That's a good bond?
That's correct.
Okay. Thank you. Next, we have position 4, Mr. Burris.
Yeah, Mr. Burris is
Negotiated plea.
negotiated plea. So time served 120 days. And he has signed everything. I think what's interesting about the Burris case is that I didn't see a factual basis for that. Well, how many do you think of this in there? I think maybe this is one where there was factual basis for both.
Mr. Burris, good morning. I'm Judge.
There was. There's no contest here on. There's no issue.
Okay. Good morning, Mr. Burris. I'm Judge Eric Morrow. This is the state all-purpose calendar that we're conducting by video to help prevent the spread of the virus. Do you agree to have your case heard by video?
Yes, Judge Morrow.
Thank you. Can you raise your right hand for me? Do you swear affirm the testimony you're about to give before this court be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
I do.
All right, you can put your hand down. Thank you, sir. Ms. Sorry.
Yes, Your Honor. In this case, the state and the defense have agreed to a negotiated plea for 12 months to serve 120 days, credit for time served 120 days, and the balance suspended to run concurrent on all counts.
Anything further, Mr. McLean?
Your Honor, this is the case in which there's a factual basis for it, and he asked the court to accept his negotiated plea.
Mr. Burris, it's my understanding that case 19 CR 004727F, you've been charged with driving while license suspended or revoked, willful obstruction of a law enforcement officer in violation of handicapped parking. It's my understanding that you wish to plead guilty to these charges. Is that correct?
Yes, sir.
Are you under the influence of any drugs or alcohol at the present time?
No, sir.
You've been represented by counsel. Are you satisfied with your counsel's representation?
Yes, sir.
You understand that you have a right to a trial by jury on these charges, and that by pleading guilty to them, you're giving up your right to a trial by jury?
Yes, sir.
Has anybody forced or coerced you to plead guilty?
No,
I'll accept your guilty plea, Mr. Burris, as negotiated.
thank you.
Good luck to you, sir.
Glaze. Position 10, Glaze.
This is also a negotiated plea.
Yes, Your Honor. Here.
Good morning, Mr. Glaze. I'm Judge Eric Morrow. This is the state all-purpose calendar that we are conducting by video to help prevent the spread of the virus. Do you agree to have your case heard by video?
Yes,
Thank you. Can you raise your right hand for me, Mr. Glaze? Do you swear affirm the testimony you're about to give before this court be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
I do.
Okay, you can put your hand down. Thank you, sir. Ms. Sari?
Yes, Your Honor. In this case, the negotiated plea is 12 months to serve. Credit for time served, 12 days. Nothing further.
Balance suspended.
He has just been sentenced to time in a felony case, so it'll be 12 months to serve, to run concurrent with that.
Oh. Okay, 12 months to serve, credit for time served, 12 days.
That's correct.
Okay. Mr. McLean?
Right, he was turning himself in, Your Honor. He was on the way to turn himself in on a felony case that had been negotiated. He took a 5 to do 3.
Mr. Glaze, it's my understanding that you wish to plead guilty to driving under the influence of alcohol less safe and failure to obey a police officer. Is that correct?
Yes, sir.
Are you under the influence of any drugs or alcohol at the present time?
No, sir.
You've been represented by counsel. Are you satisfied with his representation?
Yes, sir.
You understand that you have a right to a trial by jury on these charges and that by pleading guilty to them, you're giving up your right to a trial by jury?
I understand.
Has anybody forced or coerced you to plead guilty?
No, sir.
I'll accept your guilty plea as negotiated, Mr. Glaze. Good luck to you, sir.
But thank you.
Who do we have next?
Position 8, Mr. Coates.
Joshua Coates.
Good morning.
Yes, good morning, just one. And I have down that Mr. Coates is position 6, is that right?
You're probably right, Judge.
Okay. And this is a negotiated plea, Mr. McLean?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right. Good morning, Mr. Coates. I'm Judge Eric Morrow. This is the state all-purpose calendar that we are conducting by video to help prevent the spread of the virus. Do you agree to have your case heard by video? Can you hear me, Mr. Coates?
Yes, sir, I can.
Okay. Do you agree to have your case heard by video?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Can you raise your right hand to the best of your ability for me, sir? Do you swear affirm the testimony you're about to give before this court be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes, sir.
Okay, you put your hand down. Thank you, Mr. Coates. Ms. Sari?
Yes, Your Honor. The state and the defense have negotiated a plea of 12 months to serve, 233 days. Credit for time served, 117 days. The balance suspended, and a stay away from 481 Griffin Street in Atlanta. That's to run concurrent on all counts.
Yes, Your Honor, the 2-for-1 credit will cause that to cause his release.
Mr. Coates, it's my understanding that you wish to plead guilty to criminal trespass, loitering and prowling, and obstruction of a law enforcement officer. Is that correct?
Yeah.
Are you under the influence of any drugs or alcohol at the present time?
No, sir.
You've been represented by counsel. Are you satisfied with his representation?
Yes, sir. Could you, okay, so does that mean I'll stay in here like another 117? Like, what does that mean?
If you get 2-for-1, Mr. Coates, that means that you'll be released.
Okay.
Okay. So I guess my last question to you was, you've been represented by counsel. Are you satisfied with his representation?
Yes, sir.
You understand that you have a right to a trial by jury on these charges, and that by pleading guilty to them, you're giving up your right to a trial by jury?
Yes, sir.
Has anybody forced or coerced you to plead guilty?
No, sir.
All right, I'll accept your guilty plea as negotiated, Mr. Coates. Good luck to you, sir.
Position 12, McNair.
It's also going to be a negotiated plea.
Yes, Your Honor, the state is, I told the state that he wanted to plead nolo, and I don't believe they have it. The only thing strange about this case is I didn't see a factual basis on the obstruction for failure to give that. But that's the way it was.
Any objection to a nolo, Ms. Sari?
Yes, Your Honor.
That's fine, Your Honor. There's no objection. And I wanted to tell Mr. or Attorney McLean, rather, if the court will allow, we will let one of the counts merge, so he'll only have to plead to one.
I think that works for him. Works for me.
What do you want to merge into what?
Count 2 can merge into count 1.
Okay, so he's pleading guilty to criminal trespass?
Well, I think it was going to be nolo, but yes, sir.
Right, yeah. Yes,
Right,
okay.
that would be good.
All right.
Thank you.
Good morning, Mr. McNair. I'm Judge Eric Morrow. This is the state all-purpose calendar that we are conducting by video to help prevent the spread of the virus. Do you agree to have your case heard by video?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Thank you, Mr. McNair. Can you raise your right hand for me?
Could I ask the court for a confirmation right now? Could I request ask a question?
Okay. Mr. McNair, you have a right to remain silent. Anything you say can be used against you. Your client's asking to ask a question before he proceeds.
Mr. McNair, I would think that you may remember that we discussed everything very fully and completely. So I think you understand all these issues.
Okay.
Is that correct?
Okay, I understand. I already know where I am.
Okay, thank you.
Do you
I don't
swear?
think he has any further questions.
All right, thank you. Do you swear affirm the testimony you're about to give before this court be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
I do.
Okay, thank you, Ms. McNair. You can put your hand down. Ms. Sari?
Yes, Your Honor. The plea in this case is 12 months to serve 17 days. Credit for time served 17 days, the balance suspended. But for the defendant to comply with the MARTA suspension, that's suspended up until 6/11/22. And for the obstruction, it would merge into count 1.
Okay. Mr. McLean?
We would ask the court to accept the negotiated plea, please.
Mr. McNair, it's my understanding that you wish to plead nolo to criminal trespass. Is that correct?
Yes, sir.
Are you under the influence of any drugs or alcohol this morning?
No,
You've
sir.
been represented by counsel. Are you satisfied with your counsel's representation?
I am, sir.
You understand that you have a right to a trial by jury on this charge, and that by pleading nolo to it, you're giving up your right to a trial by jury?
I do, sir.
Has anybody forced or coerced you to plead nolo?
No one.
I'll accept the nolo plea as negotiated, Mr. McNair. You understand that you can't go back to MARTA until June 11th of this year. You understand?
Yeah, we do that, sir.
Okay, all right. Good luck to you, Mr. McNair.
Yes, sir.
We're completed here in courtroom 2, Judge.
Do we have another courtroom that we need to go to? What about, let's see, position 7, Desmond Davis?
I have some information on that case, Your Honor. It is interesting, but I think it can be solved briefly
Well,
because
hold on. First of all, I need to know if they have him.
I'm sorry, say that again, Judge?
There are a number that we haven't covered this morning. I just want to go through the calendar to make sure that, and I have Mr. Desmond Davis.
for South. I had 4 South 208 for a location of being there.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm looking through the calendar now, Judge. He's not on my calendar.
Okay. What about position 8, Beverly DeBose?
That's in Union City.
All right. Position 14, Cornelius Muckle.
That was, he said.
That's a waiver, Your Honor, of appearance and arraignment.
And you're going to file a written waiver?
Correct, Judge.
All right. And so what are we going to do with position 7, Mr. Davis? Do you need to put on another calendar, Mr. McClain?
Your Honor, his was only a possession of marijuana, 1 count. And it seemed rather simple, but I confessed to him that I only had 2 sheets, unlike the other packets, which were full of sufficient information. I only had a booking screen sheet and the accusation itself at the date of the occurrence. Now, on this booking screen sheet, he's already made the $11,000 bond on the matter, which is right above what I suspect to be conflation.
Yeah. Well, I just need to know what we're going to do with him today, so I can let Courtroom 2 go, and we can talk about that.
Right. Your Honor, he should have a signature bond on, since this is only a simple possession of cocaine, marijuana, 1 count, it probably would be justified to give it a signature bond because it seems to be left over from a CP case that almost went away.
Okay, so I'm happy to do that, but we're going to have his presence, correct?
I did talk to him last night, so yes, if we can waive his presence and ask.
Well, do you have a written waiver of his presence?
I'll make one. I'll do it with his permission.
Okay, well, I think you have to do that before he waives it, right?
I could run to the jail and have him.
Why don't we just put him on for Thursday?
Your Honor, he's being held on no bond on several counts, so I think it's kind of a moot issue.
Okay, so, but we'll put him back on for Thursday for an add-on.
And this is what I told him. I said, we have to research this because it is kind of confusing.
All right, and thank you, Courtroom 2. And what about Miss DeBose? You say that she's at South Annex?
Right.
Yes, she's in South Annex.
Okay, so I guess we'll need to go to the South Annex. Thank you, Courtroom. Can you let the South Annex know that?
Get her now.
She's gonna get her now.
Oh, okay, very good.
All right, thank you, Judge.
All right, thank you all. We appreciate it.
Thank you.
Can
Yeah,
we
break out.
go over the calendar, Judge, while we're waiting?
Yes, that'll be fine. Whenever you're ready, Ms. Middlebrook.
Position number 1 was arraigned. Reset further notice as a bond modification order. $5,000 sign on bond to the jail for the first count, $1,000 sign on bond to the jail for the second count. Position number 2 was arraigned, reset jail jury. Position number 3 is a bond modification order, a $2,000 good bond, the MHEC. Position number 4 was a plea. Position number 5 has been reset for jail jury. Position number 6 was a plea. Position number 7 has been reset to the SAP March 31st. We're holding on position 8. Position 9 was arraigned, reset jail jury. The bond modification order on that case. Position number 10 was a plea. Position 11 has been reset SAP April 7th. Position 12 was a plea. Position 13 has been released. Position 14 is a waiver of appearance and arraignment, reset jail jury. Position 15 was a plea. Position 16 has been released. Same announcement on 17, released. Position 18 was a plea. Position 19 and 20 were plea. Position 21 was relief. Position 22, there's been a waiver of arraignment, of appearance and arraignment, reset jail jury. Position 23, reset SAP, April 15th. On the add-on calendar, positions 1 and 2 could plea. Position 3 was arraigned, the bond modification order for a $2,000 good bond.
I have an update for position 22. Is it possible that we can reset it to the 31st if that's open for a possible plea?
Excuse me, Judge, sorry to interrupt. I have a quick question on position 4. They're not understanding their disposition.
Mr. Burris?
Yes.
Okay, it was a time served plea and the balance was suspended.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you.
And Your Honor, on positions 3 and position 11, I just want to make certain that those cases are reset to the competency calendar as a evaluation has been ordered or will be ordered rather.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Walker. That'll be noted.
Thank you.
That was position
3 and 11.
3 and 11. Okay. And then can I just have a repeat of 6, 7, and 8 just to make sure I have it correctly? That was a
6 was a plea. 7
okay.
reset SAP March 31st. And 8, we're holding on.
Okay, hold. Okay, okay. Thank you.
Position 22, you're requesting to be on Thursday as well.
All right.
Good morning, everybody. Give me a few minutes. We're getting her. You might hear some talking in the background. I have another court going on.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you. You're welcome. And Your Honor, you're awesome.
Yes.
Thank you for everything.
All right, thank you. Let's see, any more questions on the calendar?
Is 22 a reset for the 31st or for April 5th?
22 reset jail jury without a waiver of appearance and arraignment.
No, I was asking, can it, instead of that announcement, be reset to either the 31st if that's open or April the 5th for a possible plea?
So, April 5th is next Tuesday, is that right?
Correct, Judge.
All right, so you want to put it on the SAP calendar for next Tuesday?
Yes, Judge.
Okay, that'll be fine. Any other questions on the calendar?
No, Judge.
Okay. I see someone who is video says grandma. I just want to make sure that you're addressed, ma'am. Are you here to be a witness in the case, or do you need the court's attention for some reason?
He's trying to touch some buttons, I can tell.
All right.
There we go.
Yes, I had a court case this morning I'm supposed to sit in on.
Okay, what case was that?
It was, I don't have the young man's name at this moment. I was assaulted at work. He was arrested at the time.
Okay, so we've pretty much gone through the calendar. Did you see the person come up?
No,
Your
sir.
Your Honor, that may be position 11. He was reset to the competency calendar.
All right, and that's, that's a Mr. Hall?
Yes, Your Honor.
Do you know what is your name, ma'am?
Cassandra McPherson.
Yes, that's the case. She's the victim.
Okay. Ms. McPherson, that case is reset for a competency calendar. And Ms. Sorry, what's the date of that calendar?
April 7th.
It's going to be on April 7th. Okay, so if you want to appear for that competency calendar, you'll be more than welcome. Okay.
Ms.
All right,
Hall, I
thank you
did
so much.
speak to him last night and told him that the case had already been reset April 7th, and he understood. I just wanted to make sure that he wasn't in the dark.
When it comes on, then we can turn it.
Okay, all right, thank you. And is Shamaya, are you for the same case?
Your Honor, she's holding on the current case that is about to be.
Oh, okay, all right. And what are we doing with Mr. Bose this morning?
A breakout room or a phone call from her to me. I'm going to reiterate the state's existing offer, which she probably is already aware of. So far, it has not worked as a plea, and it's just heading towards a resolution.
Okay, so can we get, we're gonna call South Annex. Can we call you?
Yes, Your Honor, the number is 404-613-7122.
All right, so if you want to go outside and make that call.
Right, I'm
Okay.
familiar with that number, and I'll call it right now.
Okay.
Outside in the hallway. Thank you.
All right, so we'll stand in recess until until he comes back.
Mr. Howard does stay on top of several mental health cases. And I think that this will be one he's not talking today. And so there won't really be any communication back and forth today on Mr. Bo's case.
Okay, so when do you want it reset until?
Anything that's convenient for the court. I think the longer the better, because I've got to give this to Mr. Howard and see if he's already on top of it. She's been on the calendar a few times. There's no progress, and I think she's off her med.
Okay. Was a mental health evaluation ordered in?
I do not know.
Okay. Do we have her bond order?
Let's see what I've got here is, see these papers.
Thank you. All right, so are you requesting that
Just a reset in order to regroup on the issue.
okay, you want to reset it till next Tuesday?
That'll be fine. I've got, my booking sheet is just blank as can be. It's just literally blank.
Okay. Well, she has a $2,000 good bond, and it also stipulates that she must be medically compliant.
Okay.
So we can reset her on the SAP calendar for next Tuesday.
That works. Thank you.
Is that agreeable with the state?
Yes, and Mr. McLean, if it's possible, if you can have your social worker go out and speak with Mr. Bowes.
Right.
Maybe some type of treatment plan can be put in place.
Very good.
Thank you. And the victim is present. I believe she would like to speak, Your Honor.
Okay. Yes, ma'am.
Yes, before my mom went to jail, she had just been released from the hospital and she was compliant with her medicine at the point at that time that I was trying to get her back in the hospital instead of jail. So she's off her meds and she needs to be back on her meds. And I have Grady calling me for her appointments that she's supposed to be in. So her being in jail and not being on her medicine, she's not going to come back. Her chemical balance is not going to come back down and she's not going to be herself. And we're going to keep repeating this cycle.
Okay, what's your name?
My name is Shamaya Jones.
Mr. McLean, it sounds like it would be helpful if you or Mr. Howard got in touch with Ms. Jones.
Please.
For her to help with her mother. And this is your mother?
Yes, this is my mother and I'm her caretaker.
Coordinate with Grady and get back on the, if the Grady regimen was working, we always like to kind of go back to what was working.
Right, so if you wouldn't mind getting in touch with Ms. Jones prior to next week's hearing so we can discuss how we're going to move this case forward.
If she would like to hear my phone number, I was joking with a colleague yesterday. Everybody knows my phone number anyway, so I'll just give it out.
Okay.
770.
Oh, she needs to get a pen.
It's almost an official Fulton County number, but at this point, 770, ma'am, 842-5471.
All right, thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you, South Annex. We'll see Mr. Bose back next Tuesday. So we have a 11 o'clock DV bench warrant calendar. It's about 10:32 now, so the court will stand in recess until 11 o'clock.
Good to see y'all today. I'll run upstairs, work on a couple
Let's see, Ms. Helen, are you representing anyone on the bench warrant calendar today?
I don't believe so, and Your Honor, I didn't get a copy of the DV calendar today. Is it possible that I could be sent that? I only received an add-on as well as the main SAP calendar.
Okay. So will it be Mr. McLean that's representing these two individuals?
Neither, Judge. We didn't receive an add-on, but we can speak to either or reset them so we can speak with them, but we didn't receive a DV calendar for today's SAP.
Okay, so.
Well, I think Mr. McLean filed an entry and actually requested that one of the defendants be placed on this calendar. I'm not sure which defendant it was, but he's on one of the entries and the request for the reset.
So let me ask him, but I can also speak with the other if he doesn't represent that other DB case, Your Honor.
Okay, and we'll send that. Ms. Middlebrooks, can we send that over? Thank you. I only wonder because I see Mr. McCory on the line right now. So, Mr. McCory, good morning. This calendar starts at 11 o'clock. So if you'll just bear with us until that time, somebody will speak with you, okay? All right, I see you saying something, but you're on mute there. You're still on mute.
Can you hear me now, Your Honor?
Yes, I can hear you, Mr. McCoy.
Okay.
Good morning.
Thank you, sir. Good morning to you. I was just saying that I'm at your mercy. Everything just fine. Go ahead.
Okay. All right, very good. We'll be with you momentarily. Thank you.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Ms. Helen, are you there?
Yes, Judge, I spoke to Mr. McLean. We are unaware of this DV calendar. If one of the case managers could forward us the original send out link or whichever email so we could at least review it.
Ms. Middlebrooks apparently sent you the calendar directly. Did you not get it?
I did not. Was that just now or?
When we were talking previously. Did you receive it, Ms. Helen?
She's sending it right now. I'll check.
And Mr.
Right, I do recall talking to Mr. Shorter over the phone, and the state have anything?
So I did just receive it now.
All right, so Ms. Helen, would you mind speaking with Mr. McCoy in a breakout room?
Sure, Judge.
Okay, and then Mr. McLean is going to handle Mr. Shorter.
And I just forwarded the calendar to Mr. McLean.
Oh, we printed him off. Okay.
Mr. Shorter on Zoom?
I believe he is.
Okay, great. We'll be asking to call my phone.
He's frozen right now. So let's see, Mr. McCoy, we are going to put you in a break. Unmute yourself there for me, sir.
I need to put stay on mute. Okay. Yes,
Okay.
sir, I'm here.
So we're going to put you into a breakout room with the public defender, Ms. Helen, okay, so that she can discuss your case with you.
Okay.
Okay.
How do I go to breakout room? I don't.
We're going to send you. We're going to place you in the breakout room. Something should come up on your phone that says for you to accept going into the breakout room, possibly.
Okay. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
So we'll do that with Ms. Helen. And I think I saw someone else on the line, and I don't know if that was Mr. Shorter or not, but he doesn't appear to still be there. So we'll see if he logs back in.
Okay.
Is this Mr. Shorter on the iPhone? Who do we have on the iPhone?
Yes, sir.
Okay, good morning, Mr. Shorter.
Good morning.
We have a public defender, Mr. McLean, who would like to speak with you regarding your case. Would you mind taking down his number and giving him a call?
Yes, sir.
I think he might already have my number.
Do you already have his number, Mr. Shorter?
Yes, I do get it in a text message. I do. Yes.
Okay, so go ahead and call him. Okay, and he's waiting for your call.
Okay.
All right. Thank you.
All right.
Ready on position 1, Judge? Judge, we're asking for a one-time reset. I've gotten some contact information from Mr. McCoy, and he was unaware of some things, as I was unaware that there was a DV bench warrant calendar this morning. So we would like more time to investigate this particular case. If we could get the earliest reset date for Mr. McCoy.
When is the next DV calendar? Is it, would it be next Tuesday for me? Okay, you want to put it on a calendar for next Tuesday, Miss Helen?
Yes, Judge, at 11 a.m.
Okay.
Mr. McCoy, you understand they're resetting. Did he leave already?
Maybe he didn't come back in from the breakout room.
Okay, I have his cell phone number. I'll contact him.
Okay. All right, thank you. And Mr. McLean is speaking with Mr. Shorter. So as soon as he returns, we'll see if there's an announcement.
Thank you, Judge.
All right, there you are, Mr. McCoy. So your counsel has requested a reset until next Tuesday at 11 o'clock. You'll get a notice of that, and I'll see you back here next Tuesday, okay? All right, you're still on mute, but I understand what you're saying. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, Judge.
Okay, you have a good day, Mr. McCoy. Are we ready to proceed?
Yes.
And who's representing from the state here? And is Mr. Shorter back with us? Oh, he should be coming on in a moment.
Make sure my phone's off. Don't need it now.
Mr. Shorter, are you with us?
Yes, sir.
All right, can you activate your camera for me?
Yes, sir.
Thank you. All right, Mr. McLean?
Your Honor, Mr. Shorter says that there was a mistake that was not his fault about the address, that he gave the correct address, and somehow there was miscommunication that he would have made court if, on the date he missed court, if he had known about it. So when he did find out about court, he did get in contact with somebody. I remember it was last week. I remember somebody contacted me, and I went to the clerk's office and asked for a new court date, and today is that date. But he says that he will abide by all court dates, and the state has given a friendly reminder that if in the original bond, and I told Mr. Shorter, I'll go get a copy from the clerk's office of the original bond in each of these two cases. They're 9 months apart. They were in 2020. Jennifer Milton is his daughter's mother. Demaya Milton is the daughter. Jennifer Milton has moved to Virginia. Demaya Milton has moved to Maryland to go to college. And he will abide by all court dates. And if the original bond says no contact, then he understands that means no contact. Of course, he is paying for his daughter's college, and he was probably a little surprised when I told him that. But I'll get him a copy of whatever there is. And if there needs to be a modification, then the burden will be on us to apply for a modification.
What court date did he miss?
It was about a week or so ago, wasn't it, Mr. Shorter?
No, it was in November.
Oh, but I mean, what he missed last week, the reason he was late last week was apparently he didn't know about that. And within a couple of hours after court started, somehow we got involved and reset to today.
But the original problem was the court date in November was sent to the wrong address, and it returned back to the center to the Fulton County. And when I called and asked them, like, yo, y'all ain't never seen me an warrant to go to court. They say, you missed your court date. I say, they asked me what's my address. I told them my address, like, they ain't the address I got to come down there to I had to come down there to redo my address or contact my attorney. And I contacted the Fulton County.
Do we have the address that the notice was sent to?
Me a public defender. Then the public defender was no longer in the office.
Right, the case is an e-case, and so he applied for the public defender services.
The first in the 20th.
Right about the time he was told he was approved, and that was the week that Mr. Sellers left. And so Mr. Sellers was assigned to Judge Morrison's courtroom, and so that's why somebody called me and said, there's a Patrick Sellers case, and Patrick is leaving this week, and it's a Mr. Shorter who is missing a court date or is late or something like that. And so I said, okay, what do I do? And I went down to the clerk's office and they said, ask for another court date.
Okay. So do we have a correct address for Mr.
I
Shorter?
believe now we do. I believe he's gotten an email from somebody in the court system that has corrected all the errors. Is that correct, Mr. Shorter? They have your correct address now?
Yeah, the address I gave you, so they sent me the email, and my address is on the paperwork they sent me. So I believe so, yes.
Okay. All right. Ms. Sorry, anything?
Yes, Your Honor. We would object to the bench warrant being lifted. it's on the defendant to make sure that he does give the correct address. In addition, he does have a history of FTAs going back to 2012 in Virginia. He's had FTAs, probation violations. I count at least 5. And then the underlying charge, he does have history out of Virginia for assaults and battery, family violence cases. Also, Your Honor, both of these cases, positions 1 and 2 and 3, I believe, they were filed on the same day. So he does have 2 active cases that he could have reached out to find out when his court date would occur, but he did not. And again, that first court date he missed was the plea and arraignment back in November of last year. So from November to last week, he did not try to reach the court to find out anything regarding these 2 battery family violence cases. And he was given a signature bond. So we asked that the bench warrant not be lifted due to his histories of FTAs, and then he has technically failed to appear for 2 court dates now regarding both of these. Nothing further.
What was the date last week? What was that?
The 21st.
And what calendar was that?
That was the bond forfeiture judgment calendar.
All right. Thank you, Ms. Starr. Anything further, Mr. Walker?
I just want to make known, I did reach out to the victim, and per the victim, the defendant has been trying to redeem himself, and there has been contact. There is a no contact order with Miss Jennifer Milton. So there is, of course, concern for influence of any of our victims when there's a no contact order and there has been contact and defendants are trying to redeem themselves and there's FTAs. So I just ask that the court take that in consideration and deny the motion to set aside the bench warrant.
Anything further, Mr. McLean?
I would like to ask Mr. Shorter. Mr. Shorter, the address that's the good mail address, is it where you actually live? Is it your dad's address?
It's actually where I live at. 737.
Do you have any problem with your mail delivery?
No, it's
Okay.
I give our address for the open court right now. Again, so we make sure we have it on record.
In addition to looking for your regular mail delivery, are you willing to call the clerk's office every 3 weeks just to make sure you don't miss anything?
I won't have a problem with that.
We often recommend that. Every 3 weeks, probably you can't miss something if you're in touch with them.
Yes, sir. I got no problems with that.
I'd do it if I were you.
All right. And Mr. Shorter, you do understand that no contact means absolutely no contact. No social media contact, no phone contact, no personal contact, no contact whatsoever. That is what is meant by a no contact order. Regardless of whether you're trying to redeem yourself or not, if you're not to have contact based on a court's order, then you can't have contact. Do you understand?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So for this matter, I am going to do a one-time a set aside of the warrant. Okay. If you miss another court date, you will have used your one time. So if you come back before this court, miss another date, it won't be lifted the next time. You understand?
Yes, sir.
Okay. All right. Anything further for Mr. Shorter?
Nothing, Your Honor. Thank you.
All right. You have a good day, sir.
Thank you, Your Honor.
All right. That completes the DV bench warrant calendar. I guess I will see you all next time. Have a good day.
Thank you, Judge.
And Mr. Walker, for some reason, your camera is you're blurry.
I know, Your Honor. I'm picking up a new laptop today.
Oh, okay. I just didn't know if there was something on it or...
No, I have to get a new laptop. There's something going on, but thank you.
Okay. No problem. We'll see you next time.
All right, bye.